See. With that, we bring in Dr. Lauren Wright. She teaches political polling at Princeton University and joining us now. Lauren, always good to see you. How much of Terry McAuliffe's fate do we tie, as George Will did, to Mr. Biden's poll numbers?
Very little. The fundamentals in this state are still true. It's been becoming more Democratic in recent decades, not more Republican. And Terry McAuliffe is very well known. He is, for all intents and purposes, the incumbent candidate. And so those macro forces are there. With that said, it is never good for your party's president's approval ratings to sink, especially when politics have become so nationalized. And as you were just discussing in the last segment, Youngkin and McAuliffe are spending their time on the campaign trail attacking each other's party's president, perhaps more than each other. And that's very telling. They think this is a national race with a national message, and they're running that way.
If you think about it in a way, one of the reasons they're running this national race, national message, especially for Democrats, making this as much as they can a referendum on Donald Trump rather than on Democratic policies, is because it worked for them in California. Gavin Newsom won that way in the recall election by a couple of touchdowns. Here's President Obama on the stump yesterday. Take a listen.
Encouraging the lies and conspiracy theories that we've had to live through all this time, and yet we're supposed to believe he's going to stand up for our democracy?
When you've got a candidate who spoke at a Stop the Steal rally, you can bet he's not going to be a champion of democracy.
That was first the former president on the Virginia Republican, then second on the New Jersey governor. Who's the better surrogate for Democrats, President Obama or President Biden?
Well, at this point, the goal is just to draw eyeballs, draw attention. The attention getting is really what happens with a president, whether former or sitting. That's the goal. They're not changing many minds at this point. Partisans vote in gubernatorial elections, and their votes are very predictable, but you want attention on the race and you want to get out the vote. So that's really all they're doing.
It's interesting because President Biden was in New Jersey today. Nobody really thinks that's a very competitive race, but he started talking about Build Back Better, his infrastructure plan, the bipartisan infrastructure plan, on and on and on. It begs the question, I'm not sure if we have the soundbite or not, but how important is selling President Biden's agenda going to be to the results next week?
I don't think it's as important as Biden's implications for the midterms, which we know much more about and is sort of an impending disaster for Democrats heading into a race in which it's not just a question of whether they lose the House, but by how much will they lose and how much are they going to lose control. But there's something interesting here, which is that even if the fundamentals are on Democrats' side in Virginia, even if McAuliffe squeaks by in New Jersey here where I am, even if Phil Murphy wins by a landslide, that does not mean that Democrats can ignore very likely Republican gains in those states. And Democrats would be making an extraordinary strategic error if they came away from those wins thinking, okay, this means everything's great with the president. This means everyone loves what we're doing.
That's a great point.
The fundamentals of these races are likely what predicts the outcome, not what the president is doing and saying. He's becoming less popular.
Yeah, you think about it, if you go from a Biden plus 10 in Virginia to a Biden plus 1 or 2, you think about how many House districts that means would swing by the same margin come 2022, changes the balance of power both in the House and the Senate. Hey, it's good to see you as always. Thanks, Professor.
Thanks, Leland.
All right. Speaking of just how important the Virginia race is, we're going to be going on the road to cover it.